All right, we need to talk about this story. It's one of those that starts in a place you totally recognize online gaming, viral TikToks, but then it takes a turn that is so dark and so complicated, it's hard to believe it's real.
I mean, this is the kind of headline that just stops you in your tracks, right? A truly awful development in a missing persons case, and suddenly it's tied directly to a rising music star. So you have to be asking, how does a musician's Tesla end up at the absolute center of a homicide investigation? To even begin to understand that, we've got to go back. We have to look at how this whole thing started, because d4vd's story begins somewhere you would never, ever expect. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. Before all the fame, the record deals, the world tours, David Anthony Burke, who you know as d4vd, was a teenager in his bedroom dealing with a very modern problem. Yeah, believe it or not, this whole music career kicked off because of Fortnite. He was a really dedicated gamer, and he was building up his YouTube channel with these super slick Fortnite montage videos. But here's the thing, his goal wasn't to be a musician. He wanted to be a pro gamer. The music was just background for his gaming clips. And then, bam, copyright strikes. Almost all of his videos got flagged and taken down for using popular music. He was crushed. But his mom, in this classic mom move, gives him this piece of advice that literally changed his entire life. She just said, if you can't use their music, why don't you just make your own? And boy, did her advice work. I mean, his rise wasn't just fast, it was absolutely meteoric. Think about this. In just 2 years, he goes from recording songs in his sister's closet on a plain old iPhone to signing with Interscope Records and opening for Saza. That is a life-changing, lightning-in-a-bottle kind of transformation. But that incredible success story is now completely overshadowed by this grim discovery. It just yanks us right out of the world of stadium tours and slams us back into the harsh reality of the present day. So let's just lay out the key facts that we know for sure. There's an abandoned Tesla on a Hollywood street. It gets towed, and at the impound lot, workers notice this terrible smell coming from the front trunk. When they open it, they make the tragic discovery: the remains of Celeste Rebus, a teenager who had been missing for over a year. And that car, it's registered to d4vd. And this is where the first direct personal connection starts to surface. Right after the body was found, but before it was publicly identified, Celeste's mother mentioned that her daughter had a boyfriend, and his name was David. Then came this detail that connected them in a way that is, well, it's impossible to ignore: a tattoo. The medical examiner noted Celeste had a tiny shh tattoo. Her mom confirmed it, but she added a detail the police hadn't released to the public. It was done in red ink. It wasn't long before photos surfaced of d4vd with the exact same tattoo on the exact same finger. As you can imagine, this discovery cast this incredibly dark shadow over d4vd's entire artistic identity. It's prompted everyone, fans, the public, to take a much closer look at the themes in his work. And this is where things get really unsettling. The song that launched his entire career, that viral TikTok sound that made him a star, it's called Romantic Homicide. In light of this investigation, that title suddenly feels chillingly, horribly predictive to a lot of people. And it doesn't stop there. People immediately started pointing out this eerie parallel in his art. One of his actual music videos shows a body being put into the trunk of a car. Something that was once just seen as, dark artistic expression is now being seen in a deeply disturbing new light. The professional fallout was immediate. Shows were abruptly canceled. A scheduled appearance at the Grammy Museum just vanished from their website. Now, through all of this, his representatives have said he is cooperating fully with the investigation. And it's really crucial to point out that, as of right now, the authorities have not named him a suspect or even a person of interest. So, we're left with this massive, complicated question. It's a story about a very modern, digital age rise to fame that has just collided head-on with a real-world tragedy. And as the investigation continues to unfold, the line between the artist, his art, and this horrific case becomes the center of a story that is way more complex than any song lyric could ever be.